Hi there, I'm joined today by Katrina Latimer, who's the Strategic Account Manager for AmaWaterways. Welcome, Katrina.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm really excited to be here.
Katrina, tell us a little bit why you're in Dublin today and what you're going to be doing around the country in the next day or two.
So when I come over to Dublin, it's very considered in terms of the activity that we do. So we'll try and attend conferences for the regional consortia. However, today and tomorrow, we have some dinners that we're doing jointly in collaboration with Azamara. So we're on Azamara Quest tonight for dinner, and then we're down at Waterford Castle Hotel tomorrow night, and we've got a beautiful selection of key accounts and agencies who are joining us for that, so I can't wait to see them.
It's actually a great collaboration, Azamara and Ama, because, you know, you are both small products. You get into the heart of destinations. One is on the ocean, one is on the river.
And I think one of the things is both of our brands are very elegant and country house hotel feel on board. So, you know, yes, you know, we're that highest end of luxury, but it is just about coming on and being relaxed. And that's exactly the feeling that we've got. But talking about going into the ports, I'm literally just off the ship. I was in the Danube last week. I was on the beautiful Amabella, one of our 32 ships that we've got across 32 that we've got 8 on the Danube, 8 on the Rhine. So we didn't really see many other ships on the Danube last week except for AmaWaterways. But we step off the ship, we're right in the centre of Dürnstein, for example, and we're just pottering around and we're doing apricot and wine tasting. Or we were in Vienna one day, we were in Salzburg one day. That was a coach trip because we went off to see the Sound of Music. I've got a lovely Facebook video that we did singing Do a Dear with the agents who were on with me. So it was just a lot of fun. And you know, the people on board are you know, our guests on board are Americans, predominantly North Americans, and then UK and Irish. Plus, we also are very welcoming of our guests. So I was in Wilshofen on our last night. We'd just done the Oktoberfest, and I could see that the Ama Sophia was parked a little bit further up. So 5 minutes walk up, and I said, can I come on and have a look? I'm a Bella guest. And they said, yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Because it's important that our guests get to see our other ships. Yeah. So the Ama Sophia is the newest ship in the fleet. Okay. So she is just gorgeous. I mean, I was blown away. I took loads of photos so I can pop them on Facebook and share. But we've got other new ships coming as well. So the other ship that I was able to take my agents on last week, delighted to, was the Ama Magna, who's our double width ship. And obviously that's where we really differentiate, where we've got this beautiful 22-metre wide ship on the Danube. She's
one of a kind, right?
She is one of a kind until next year, where she's going to be one of a double act. So she's getting a brother. Ama Rudy.
Ama Rudy, I know, of course.
Named after Rudy Schreiner. Yeah. So they're our first brother ship. So it will be another double width ship. And really, when you think about that, I think a lot of our agencies think, oh, you'll just put more people on that. That's not what it's about. So the Ama Rudy and the Ama Magna, they have 4 restaurants, 5 bars, a pool, a whirlpool, a full-size pickleball court, a cinema. The new Ama Rudy is going to have a billiards room as well. So it's about the public areas.
I was really, really impressed from start to finish from the Ama Magna. So excited to see the Ama Rudy.
Absolutely. I mean, and that, on that point about the dining, it's all a la carte. There are some buffet options if you want them, but you don't have to have buffet at all. It's breakfast, lunch and dinner a la carte. But the chef's table that you're talking about is the one where we have the 7-course taster menu. It's all paired with fine wines. But for 2026 onwards, we're now opening that restaurant at lunchtime, and we're using it as an Italian restaurant.
Yeah, I was in there for lunch. Yeah.
So it's an Italian restaurant at lunchtime, so you can have beautiful fresh pasta, different sauces every day, or focaccia sandwiches and things like that. So a little bit of a lighter lunch option. So all multiple dining options across all of the fleets, which is lovely.
So you mentioned the Danube, you mentioned the Rhine, and you've 8 and 8 on those. So where are the other regions? What's trending at the moment? What's really big?
So what is trending? So the other thing that's trending and something to think about is is exotics. So Mekong has always been our number one in terms of our exotics, but we've got 3 ships in the Nile. And actually in the last month, the Nile's been one of our top sellers for 2026. For 2027, our top seller is Colombia.
Well, I'm not surprised with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a trip of a lifetime.
Rudy and Christine went out 4 years ago now and met with the Colombian government, and it was very much a conversation about, you know, we are a very responsible, elegant river cruise company. We want to partner with you and your communities. So we've recruited and employed hundreds of Colombian people, built the ships out there, dredged the river, bought all of the artwork from the ships from local street vendors, all of the linens, everything on there is Colombian. The one thing to note about this itinerary, in my mind, it's rhythm and music and dance and historical culture and, you know, freedom from slavery and wildlife and bird life. But it's also Cartagena itself, where you either debark or embark, is very commercial. The rest of that itinerary is raw. It's raw. It's authentic. It's going back in time. You know, Mompox was built in the 1540s and hasn't changed. So you will be looking and learning about mending fishing nets and rolling tobacco and making filigree jewellery, and all about the freedom that, you know, the Spanish royal crown decreed for all the little towns and villages. And because of the wildlife, you know, I think 20% of all the species of birds in the world sit in the Magdalena Basin, where the river is. So, you know, we've got time there where we do early morning and late evening, sunrise and sunset bird watching tours into the wetlands as well. So it's very different from anything that we have on our portfolio.
Give us a little bit of background on the rebranding, how it's going. Has it been a success?
It's been so well received. What you see now when you're walking along and you're on the riverside, you see a river full of blue ships, and then you see all of the AmaWaterways ships, which are this lovely Vivace colour. And we have little bits of kind of a navy colour called Baroque and a blue colour called Danube. So it's a marketing dream, you know, in terms of all this rebranding. But what we've done is we've elevated everything on board. So the colour is part of it and it makes us really stand out. But secondly, you know, we've added the fluffiest, I mean, they're almost marshmallow soft robes in all of our rooms, and the slippers, they're Nespresso machines in all of the rooms. We've got the lovely Danube blue reusable water bottles for people to take off as well. The lovely Vivace umbrellas, which are good for rain, but they're also good for sun. So when, you know, you're out and about, it was so hot last week on the Danube that we were able to use the umbrella just to sort of shield ourselves. And then what I mentioned earlier about the chef's table being used at lunchtime, that's new. We also actually have introduced a new concept in November and February, kind of the off-peak months, and it's called City Escapes. And that City Escapes is where it's still a 7-night cruise, but you're actually staying 2 days in places. So for example, in the Danube, you'd be 2 days in Budapest, 2 days in Vienna, 2 days in Bratislava. And that's all part of this new look and feel, and can we bring more things to the river cruising industry. So
that's in November and February.
Novembers and Februaries, yeah. So it's kind of what would be off-peak months.
Yeah.
But for example, when we're in Vienna, our guests are going to be taken off the ship for a dining experience in the House of Strauss and have a beautiful classical concert there as well. And they're going to have cocktail menu and drinks and wine menu available throughout. So actually it's almost like an all-inclusive drinks experience on our City Escapes itineraries too. So it is very much about the new look and the new feel and the new ships, and you know, modernising into what the river cruise customer is telling us, because everything that we do is about, you know, considered detail for what our guests are asking for.
Yeah, I suppose from a AMA perspective, you basically have touched on new routes, the new ships. Is there anything that you'd like to talk to the trade about in terms of how's business? What's trending out of Ireland? How to get there?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of Ireland. We are a growing business within Ireland, obviously. We've really only been doing fly cruise for about 2.5 years. So it's very much now about just cementing the partnerships that we've already managed to get engagement at various different conferences. And in terms of the growth, I would say that Europe will always be the number one, but I've had more inquiries from Ireland about Colombia in the last 6 months than probably anywhere. And that's just people saying, oh, right, this is new. Let's bring this to the Irish market. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of competition in river cruising in Ireland. I get that. So it is very much about thinking, look, there are lots of different suppliers to choose from, but which supplier is going to give your customer the experience for the customer's needs that the agents know. And we use all airlines, there's one that we don't, but we use airlines from airports all across Ireland. So it is just a fly cruise. It's very easy to book. You just call our team. It's a +44 number in Guildford in Surrey. So the team are there. It's a hugely experienced team. The website, there's an AmaWaterways.eu website. On that, there's a booking portal, travel agent portal. Now, that will give you cruise-only pricing because it is the European website, and Ireland is my anomaly within Europe because I'm doing fly cruise here, but everywhere else in Europe it is cruise-only. So I have this special baby with Ireland that I really want to nurture, and I will be over as often as I can to do that. And, we have various different promotions.
So finally, just before we finish up, is there any incentives? Is there anything in place for the trade at the moment with you guys?
Yeah, so currently we've got solo waived supplements, which is a really important one because that actually gives a really, really good value price for our solo guests. We've got savings of up to €2,100 per couple and €225 onboard credit. So it's on select departures, but there's about 1,500 of them. So, the fleet is so big. And that fleet of 32 by 2032 is going to have grown to 50, Sharon. 50 ships, just AmaWaterways by 2032. So we're talking, 6 years' time?
Oh my God, we're going to see a lot more of you.
Absolutely. And thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for everything that my travel agent partners in Ireland are doing. We really, really appreciate it. We're a very lovely, considered company, and we appreciate every single communication that we have with everybody and every inquiry. Don't be shy, pick up the phone, go on the portal, pick up the phone, and certainly just keep in touch.
Thank you so much for joining us.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much.